Hello there. I want to thank you for joining me today. My name is Thomas. I'm 83 years old, and I want to share something important with you. You see, when you reach a certain age, in my case, I'd say it started when I was about 70, you begin to notice things, little changes, some of them subtle, others more worrying. And over the years, through my own experiences, my visits to the doctor, and many conversations with friends, neighbors, and family, I've learned to look out for certain signs that tell you maybe something's not quite right. So today, I want to speak from the heart and tell you about 3 signs of aging that you should never ignore, especially if, like me, you're over 70. These are things that I wish someone had spoken to me earlier. Things that, when caught early, can make all the difference in keeping our golden years comfortable and dignified. Let me tell you, getting older is a gift. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every slow morning, it all means we've made it this far. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be vigilant. So, let's begin. The first sign, unexplained weight loss. When I turned 75, I remember my daughter, Helen, visiting me one weekend. We sat together in my garden, enjoying the breeze and the smell of the roses. She looked at me for a long while and then said, "Dad, have you been eating properly? You look like you've lost weight." Now, at first, I brushed it off. I told her maybe I'd been a bit busier, tending to the house and yard, or maybe it was just the summer heat. But deep down, I knew something felt off. My trousers were looser. My shirts didn't fit like they used to. I hadn't been dieting, and my appetite hadn't really changed. It was only after Helen insisted that I went to see my doctor, Dr. Lim, that I understood how serious this could be. Dr. Lim told me, and I'll never forget this, he said, "Mr. Thomas, when someone your age starts losing weight without trying, it's a red flag." You see, unexplained weight loss can point to many things. Sometimes it's something simple, like poor absorption of nutrients. But it can also be an early sign of serious conditions, cancer, thyroid problems, or chronic infections, among others. Dr. Lim sent me for tests. Thankfully, in my case, it turned out to be an issue with my dentures. They weren't fitting right anymore, and eating had become a quiet struggle I hadn't even fully realized. I got them adjusted, and slowly, I regained the weight that I had lost. But let me say this clearly to you. If you're losing weight and you don't know why, don't wait. Don't put it off. Talk to your doctor. Let them do the investigations. Because the sooner they find the cause, the sooner you can do something about it. And you know, as I talked about this with my old friend Harold, we've been friends for over 50 years, he shared that he too had lost weight a few years back. In his case, it turned out to be an issue with his pancreas that needed medical treatment. He's doing fine now, but he was lucky he caught it early. I want to pause here for just a moment. If you find these words helpful, if you feel this knowledge could help you or someone you love, I hope you'll take a moment to share this message with them. It could make all the difference. Now, let's move on to the second sign. The second sign is sudden memory problems or confusion. I'll tell you a little story. When I was around 77, there was a morning that shook me. I woke up early, as I always do, ready to make my cup of tea. I walked into the kitchen, but then, for a brief moment, I stopped. I couldn't remember why I had walked in there. I stood there, looking around, feeling puzzled. The kettle was right there on the counter, where it always is, my favorite mug sitting beside it, but for that moment, I felt lost. Now, I know what you might be thinking. We all have those little forgetful moments, don't we? Misplacing the keys, forgetting the name of a neighbor, walking into a room and drawing a blank. That happens to everyone, young and old. And most of the time, it's nothing to worry about. But this felt different. Over the next few weeks, I noticed more things. I forgot a friend's birthday, though I've never missed it in all our years. I got confused reading a map of my own neighborhood, a place I've lived for decades. My daughter, Helen, noticed too. She saw that I was repeating myself during conversations. So, again, I visited Dr. Lim. He explained to me that sudden or worsening memory issues or episodes of confusion should never be ignored. He said, "At your age, Thomas, we want to rule out anything serious. Sometimes it's something we can help with, like a vitamin deficiency or a side effect of medication. Other times, it might be an early sign of something like dementia, but we won't know unless we look." And that's just it. Memory problems don't always mean something like Alzheimer's. In fact, in my case, it turned out that one of the medications I was taking for my blood pressure was interacting with another one, making me feel foggy. We adjusted the doses, and after a while, my mind felt clearer again. But what if I hadn't spoken up? What if I had just accepted it as old age and said nothing? That's why I'm sharing this with you today. If you or someone you care about starts having sudden memory problems or starts seeming confused when they weren't before, please don't wait. See your doctor. I've spoken with many of my friends about this, and you know, it's something so many of us are scared of. We fear what it might mean. But let me tell you, facing it head-on is always better. The sooner you know, the sooner you can act. And before I move on to the third sign, I want to take a moment to ask you something. If you're finding this video helpful, if these stories and lessons speak to you, I'd be truly grateful if you could click the subscribe button on our channel, Wisdom Through Time. By subscribing, you'll get more videos like this, where we share experiences, advice, and knowledge gathered over the years. And if you could take a second to click the like button, it really helps. It helps our channel grow, so we can create more videos just like this one to support others on this journey of aging gracefully. Your support means a lot. All right, now let's take a breath and prepare for the third and final sign. This one, I feel, is often overlooked, but it's just as important. The third sign. Persistent pain, especially in your chest, stomach, or joints. You know, as we get older, we often accept certain aches and pains as part of life. A stiff knee here, a sore back there. And yes, to some extent, that's normal. But I want to share something that I learned the hard way. When I was about 79, I started having this dull, nagging ache right in the center of my chest. It wasn't sharp, it wasn't sudden, just a heaviness that came and went. At first, I told myself it was probably heartburn. I tried drinking a bit of milk, I avoided spicy food, I even tried sleeping propped up on pillows, but the ache kept returning. One morning, I was out watering the plants in my garden, and I felt that ache again. This time, it came with a bit of breathlessness. I had to sit down. That's when I finally listened to the little voice in my head, and to the words of Dr. Lim, who always told me, never ignore chest pain, no matter how mild. Helen took me to the hospital right away, and I'm glad she did. It turned out I had what the doctors called angina, a sign that my heart wasn't getting enough oxygen-rich blood. With treatment and changes to my lifestyle, I've been able to manage it. But I shudder to think what might have happened if I'd kept brushing it off. Persistent pain, whether it's in your chest, your stomach, or your joints, is your body's way of asking for help. My neighbor George, who's 85 now, shared with me that he ignored stomach pain for months, thinking it was just indigestion. When he finally saw a doctor, they found a stomach ulcer that was dangerously close to causing serious harm. Thankfully, they treated it in time. And joint pain, too. I know so many seniors who struggle silently with sore hips, knees, or shoulders. Sometimes it's arthritis, yes, but other times it might be something more, like an infection in the joint, or even a sign of osteoporosis that needs attention to prevent fractures. What I want you to remember is this: persistent pain is not something to tough out. It's not a sign of weakness to seek help. It's wisdom, it's courage, and it's how we protect the years we have left. A final word. So, to sum up, the 3 signs of aging that you should never ignore are: number 1, unexplained weight loss. It can signal something serious beneath the surface. Number 2, sudden memory problems or confusion, because early action can make all the difference. And number 3, persistent pain, especially in places like your chest, stomach, or joints. It's your body's way of telling you to pay attention. If you or someone you care about is experiencing any of these, please speak to your doctor. The sooner you do, the better. Before I close, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. It warms my heart to think that my small stories, my years of learning, might help someone out there. And I'd like to gently remind you again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, Wisdom Through Time. It's a simple click, but it means a great deal. It helps us share more of these stories, these lessons, these moments of connection. And if you found this video helpful, please click like. Your support helps this channel grow so we can continue to create content that uplifts, informs, and comforts people just like you. Remember, aging is not something to fear. It's a journey, one that's richer when we walk it with awareness, with care, and with each other. Thank you, my friends. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, may your days be filled with peace, strength, and joy.